Agenda 2030. Have you heard about this? Have you seen this anywhere? You can't find it anymore. They took it down. I'm going to explain it to you, and you should be afraid. Very afraid. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I am Sammy Fender, and this is Fat Man Tries. Today we're going to take a little detour off my search for God, and we're going to discuss Agenda 2030. It has some sort of relevance with my search for God because there are elements in here that may be in the book of Revelation, which is the last book of the Bible. Maybe. You want to know more about that book? Look up the, guy was on Moonshiners. He is now a disciple for Christ, and he speaks a lot about Revelation. I'll have his name in the description below. But Agenda 2030, what exactly is it? Well, it was based on the UN 17 Sustainable Development Goals that they came up with back in 2015. And after COVID, what happened was they came up with this idea of the Great Reset. Because, things had changed so drastically in the world. Oh, that's nice. Covers my face really good. I may just leave it up there. But anyway, I won't. So the Great Reset, and they're talking about one world government, and which would be, no more separate governments, just one world government. And it's going to be a government that is going to be made up of high-level corporate executives, CEOs and such, scientists. We're also going to see engineers, climate specialists, sociologists, all sorts of people, non-government, non-elected officials, and they're going to be running everything as one world government. Now, we've seen things like this in science fiction movies, the corporation runs everything or whatever. And we always go, yeah, that'll never happen. This is planned. There's people that we don't see. They're not in the news. They're not in the headlines. We don't hear them. We don't talk about them. Guys like Klaus Schwab and even George Soros, we hear about him, but you don't see a lot of it out there. And Bill Gates I think he's in on this too. So they're going to have this new world government, no politicians, no elections, no representatives, no senators, nothing like that at all. And it's going to issue in the fourth industrial revolution. Now, what exactly is the fourth industrial revolution? Well, we're seeing part of it now. We're seeing the beginning of it really, really well now. We see AI has grown immensely since its beginning. I think it's going to grow even faster and faster the longer it works. And we're seeing robots, robotic engineering coming further. You're seeing autonomous little delivery vehicles now that deliver pizza, or autonomous self-driving Uber type vehicles. And yeah, they make mistakes and we laugh and we take videos of them and we have a good time at their expense. But I remember, well, I don't remember, but people used to laugh at the automobile. It'll never replace the horse and carriage. How about the airplane? It'll never get off the ground. Now you got jets flying around with a couple hundred people, right? We've had that for years, and we don't think anything of that because we've even gone to the moon in the SpaceX, right? What he's doing. So when you think of this, that it's not going to happen, it's happening now, and it's getting more and more advanced every day. And it's what it's going to end up is it's just this technocratic corporation. It's going to be all about technological advancement, and technological ideas, and there will be they're going to get us into a total dependency on the state. They don't want any individualism, any independence. They want everybody totally dependent on this one world government, on what this government can do for you. We've heard this before. I mean, we see it in the Democrat Party now in this country, and the far left. It's not about what you can do for your country. It's all about whatever the country's going to do for you. The country's going to fix it. The government's going to fix it. I have a problem. I want the government to fix it. I want the government to take care of me. I want the government to fix my problems. I want the government to make me feel better. A lot of those people are going to really enjoy Agenda 2030. There's also going to be what's going to call a social credit system. Social credit system is going to be based on China's, but it's going to be even more restrictive. And it's not about credit cards. It's not about money. It's about your score as a citizen, how well you follow the rules, how well you comply. Are you a good cog in the wheel of the new life? Do you do what you're supposed to do? That we're going to have carbon footprint surveillance systems to make sure that your carbon footprint is within the limits set by the corporate government, by the scientists, by the climate specialists. Um, so you can just forget about anything that burns gas. That's going to be immediately away. We've already seen the beginnings of that. New York has banned the sale of gas ranges, right? It won't be long before gas furnaces are gone, propane systems will be gone. It's going to be all electric. Don't worry about the idea that the grid won't support it. I got a solution for that too, why it's not going to really matter. So you have your carbon footprint, the surveillance system. They're going to be checking on you all the time. And there's going to be a universal income for compliant citizens. So if you're a good little boy or girl, you'll get the better basic income. You'll get the better uh, apartment or wherever you're going to be living. You'll get maybe um, a quicker Uber ride, whatever you'll get if you're compliant. If you're non-compliant, you're not going to receive any benefits, and you may end up being sent to a re-education facility, or I'm not sure what they'll do with those who are non-compliant. And there's also going to be a centralized digital banking system that's going to make business banking instantaneous. I don't think there's, well, I mean, I get instant text whenever I use my debit card somewhere. So it'll be instantaneous for everybody, but you're not going to have cash. There's not going to be any bartering, hey, I'll paint your house for this. No, none of that. It's all going to be totally regulated, everything in and out. Okay, you're not going to have any freedom. There's going to be no financial freedom at all. You're going to be completely locked into into this digital currency. So you could be thinking by now, well, Sammy, that's not going to happen? I mean, the people of this country, especially the United States, we're not going to allow anything like that to come. You know, I mean, maybe some third world country or whatever they'll get away with it, or Russia or China, but not here. I mean, you're talking about communism. That's not even communism anymore. It's way past communism, folks. It's already being done. Okay. One of the ways they're going to accomplish this is they're going to flood our cultures, our countries, with people from other countries, from third world countries, even fourth world. Are there something that's a fourth world country? Somalia has to be a fourth world country. Anyway, they're going to flood immigration with these people in the United States, Australia, all the Western countries. And why they're not only doing that to prove a point, but they're doing that to water down our culture, our American culture of patriotism, of coming together in times of need, of being strong, of being American. You water that down with enough immigrants who don't believe in that, who don't speak our language. We saw a perfect example this past Super Bowl of of a foreign language taking over a purely American idea. American football is all American, but we saw what happened. That's just a step. That's just you looked at the people in the stadium. They're standing there looking. They weren't entertained, but it was being shoved down their throat. All this gets shoved down your throat. They keep flowing people in. We've already lost Dearborn. We've lost Detroit. Minneapolis is gone. There's a city here in Ohio that the Haitians took over. No English. You keep doing that, sooner or later, you keep flooding all these countries. I mean, London is gone. Now, if you speak out in London against the immigration, against the fact that the people are being hassled and the women are being attacked or just treated terribly, you can't say anything. Otherwise, you're called a racist, and they'll put you in jail or fine you or some other thing. I mean, I think Poland is the only place that's not accepting immigrants, and they're maintaining their culture. But here in this country, if it's flooded enough, Our votes are lost, our voices are silenced, and we won't be able to speak out when Agenda 2030 starts rolling in its doors. So how exactly are they going to come up with this? Now, I do have a picture, if I can find the right one. Oh, that ain't it. You know how good I am at this, folks, right? This is my forte right there. So right there, you remember this? Everybody remember COVID-19? COVID-19, what a wonderful little experiment, huh? It was a threefold experiment. The first thing was, how many people can we thin from the herd? You know, there was a big controversy years ago that Bill Gates said we should halve the population. That's not what he said. He was talking about vaccines, a lot of vaccines for people to raise the health level of everybody. And if there's health level and economic level is raised up, then the poorest of the poor who have the highest have the highest birth rates will slow down their birth rate. I don't think that's going to happen. But the idea came about that, hey, yeah, there are too many people on this planet. And for Agenda 2030 to work, we're going to have to lower that population. Well, how do you do that? Well, COVID was a big beginning. So COVID, how many people can we unalive through COVID? And the numbers were really high. And it was also a disease that could have been controlled, right? I mean, they had a vaccine within a year. 3 different pharmaceutical companies came up with a vaccine, when usually it takes years and years for a pharmaceutical company to do anything. But they came up with a vaccine, almost like they had one kind of waiting in the wings. It was as soon as we got enough people off, and destroyed an economy. That was the second part of COVID. Can we destroy economy and remove a president from office and put somebody we want in office? They seemed to manage that, and they brought Joe Biden in. And what did Joe Biden do first? He went back and he rejoined all of the places that Trump left, the Climate Accord, World Economic Forum, the WHO, more money to the UN, all these places, the UN, the WEF, the WHO, the International Criminal Court, all of these places, NATO, are all funded mostly by the United States, and they're all useless. They do nothing. They have no authority. They have no enforcement. The International Criminal Court can put down a warrant, but who cares, right? So they'll come out at us again with another COVID. The other thing they wanted to do with COVID was see how well controls on people would go. How much can we control the population? First, we had, 2 weeks to slow the curve, then 2 more weeks, and then 6 weeks, and then it was, everybody has to wear a mask, mandatory mask wherever you went out, wherever you were with people, 6-foot distancing. I remember the arrows on the grocery store floors, right? You had to go the right way in aisle, or the arrow police would ask you to leave because you weren't complying. We even had, the Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota had a hotline so that you could call on your friends, your neighbors, and your family if they weren't complying to the rules. All the while, Governor Newsom was having elite parties, and northern representatives and senators were flying to Florida, which didn't comply with any of the rules, and to no problem. But everybody kept going to Florida. They didn't have to wear a mask in Florida. They didn't have to have 6-foot distancing in Florida. They didn't have to have any of that stuff. And they did fine. As many people that had COVID in Florida as had the rest of the country. It was a super cold. Yeah, a lot of people died, but a lot of people also had complications that really is what they died from. They got sick. You see this all the time. Someone of age, like me, or older, in their 80s and 90s, they break a hip. Well, the next thing you know, they got pneumonia and they're gone. That's what happens when you get old. That's what happens when you're not healthy. Something can come in and push you along. They were reporting people with gunshots dying of COVID. People in car accidents who died of COVID. Absolutely ridiculous. Get those numbers up for more control. But that's what they wanted. They wanted to see how far can we control people. We still have people at home not going back to work because of COVID. We still have people wearing masks in cars by themselves. Last summer, I saw a guy riding a motorcycle. Honestly, I couldn't believe it. He was wearing flip-flops, a pair of shorts, a tank top, no helmet, no body protection, no gear whatsoever, but he was wearing a mask. So if he went down, he'd be hamburger on the street, but I bet you he wouldn't catch COVID. So, good for him. So because of COVID and this, there'll be mandatory vaccines. Do you know the military, American military, they get 10 vaccines upon entrance into the military. 10 vaccines. I don't think they know what's in it. And if they go overseas, they get 7 or 8 more. Total of 17 to 18 vaccines pumped into their bodies. And who knows what they're getting? Oh, they're telling them, well, this is for that or this is for that. But do they really know what it's for? I don't know. So, mandatory vaccines for everybody. Now, these vaccines can be many-fold. They can be for, common diseases that we know of. But since you don't know what's actually in the vaccine, there could be fertility blockers in there, right? There could be some type of vaccine that's going to shorten your lifespan. One of the problems with Agenda 2030, one of the problems with this one new government, another problem with all of these things they want to put in place, they want to put in place they want to put a lot of things in place. They want to get rid of gender, and as I'll talk about in a minute, but they can do all this through vaccines because they want to control fertility and reproduction. You just can't have people having babies whenever they want. The less babies made, the better. The lower the population, it's easier to, number one, to control, and it's easier to take care of. Okay, as we get into this, as I look forward into what's happening with the robot and AI, you got to wonder why we're even going to be left here. Okay, so we have controlled fertility, we have controlled reproduction. If you don't if you don't comply to the fertility rules, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And more than likely, if you have a baby without permission, it's going to be taken away. So we're also going to see legal radical assisted suicide. So right now it's illegal. I think it's still illegal assisted suicide, but that's not going to be illegal anymore. It's not only going to be legal, it's going to be advertised and pushed. It's going to be promoted. So when you reach a certain age, hey, you know what? You're getting up there. You're really not a productive member anymore. Maybe it's time you went for the long sleep, and we'll give your family some bonus credits or some bonus points, as a legacy, something like that. But really, you're more of a drain on society now than anything else. Did anybody see the movie Soylent Green with Robert Heston? I'm showing my age there, but they had a thing in there where people, when they reached a certain age, they could go off to this great sleep, and it was a weird movie. But anyway, I think they're going to see something like that. Okay, and then if you think abortion's bad now, it's going to be over the top. It's just going to be hundreds of millions of babies will be aborted because the corporation, the New World Order, is not going to be able to afford to have them. So we're also going to see nothing but 100% genetically modified food. There will be no natural remedies, no natural health, none of that stuff. No treatments like that, no holistic medicines. You are going to be vaccinated. You're going to eat the foods and the only foods. You're not going to grow your own garden. You're not going to have any of your own fresh vegetables. You're not going to have a cow that you can take to the butcher when it's ready. None of that. It's all going to be genetically modified where they can control what goes in your body and how your body reacts to it. All remedies are banned, okay? So you will go to the doctor and you will be completely dependent on big pharma. And you know how much we like that. Now, the workforce will change. It will be all robots. I said that good, huh? All robots. Robots, bioengineering, AI. AI, there are songs now on public radio, country music, pop music, Christian music that's AI generated. Sorry about that. I have a Nikon DSLR camera, an older one, that keeps turning off on me. If anybody out there knows why that is, I sure would appreciate the help. I was using my iPhone as a camera, but it was kind of blurring out and having trouble with that. So sorry about that blackout screen. If it happens again, I'll just pause and go turn it back on and come back. So bear with me. I appreciate you sticking around this long. Won't be too much longer. But so there's AI music out there, and it's, I've been in the music business. I was in the music business all through the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Spent my life trying to write songs and that kind of thing. It's not easy. And then they're doing this, and they don't have any soul, but there's some pretty good songs out there. And AI generated people. You know, the entire what's that movie? Avatar. That's all AI, right? It's all AI generated. It's all computer generated. I saw Will Smith, a video on Will Smith. It was AI. It went from different phases of different years until 2026, what he looks like AI generated now. Pretty soon, folks, there won't be any actors needed. Not a bad loss because most of them are idiots. But they won't need actors. AI will take care of that. They won't need directors. They won't need scripts. They won't need anything for movies. It'll all be done on a computer. All the music will be done on a computer. You know, there'll be, if you go to a concert, it'll probably be holographed. I saw Britain's Got Talent or America's Got Talent video of people who came out and they had the video, the way that somehow they did with the cameras and so forth, made them look like Elvis or made them look like somebody else. It was amazing. But all that kind of stuff is here, and it's gonna take over. We will become obsolete. I mean, what will be left for us to do except the most menial jobs? But then robots can take those over too. You know, I mean, if AI can make a movie and make it look as real as can be, why can't they make you a hamburger? I don't know. Well, I don't even. You'll be allowed to have a hamburger by then. I don't know. So you're going to have the robot workforce, and then the Internet of Things. We already have an Internet of Things. Look in your house. How many people have an Amazon Echo, right? How many people have a Google something? Or your phone. Your phone has Siri, or your phone has whatever Android has. Your car is all electronic. You can start it. You can unlock it. You can Tesla can drive to where it's got to go and come back, right? That's the Internet of Things. There's also going to be an Internet of Bodies. Now, when you read Revelation, the second beast brings along the mark of the beast. Everybody has to have a chip. Everybody, we have a digital currency. Everybody's going to have to be hooked in to the internet. Chips, implants for your brain, who knows? And that's all going to be, it's all going to be pushed and given to us like it's a gift, like it's something that, oh my goodness, I'm going to have, you mean I'm going to be able to just think my internet and see my internet? I don't have to click anymore. I don't have to, I can just, YouTube videos are going to be generated and they're going to be giving you exactly what they want you to hear. You know, it's coming. I don't want to sound like a the sky is falling kind of person, but it's coming. I didn't really think much about Agenda 2030 when I first saw it in 2024. In the beginning of 2024 is when I first saw it, when everybody started screaming about the conservatives, the Republicans in this Project 2025, and then this surfaced, this on steroids, Project 17, UN 17 just blew up out of everything. So you're going to be hooked into the internet, have a brain interface, and they're also going to do away with genders and the destruction of motherhood and fatherhood. Now, what is the point of that? Okay, well, motherhood and fatherhood will be taken away. The state will raise whatever children they decide to be born, because if you take motherhood and fatherhood out of it, you won't have any bias put into the child. The child will be raised exactly as the state wants it to be raised. It won't be raised with any spiritual or any other type of intellectual input from a parent. If we destroy genders, then we do away with the whole gender ideology, the whole pronoun ideology. You just refer to as person by your name. There's no more he or she or anything like that, because genders cause conflict. There's conflict between male and female. If you don't have mothers and fathers, you got to do away with all that. I mean, the robots aren't going to be, gendered. So why should people be gendered? We want to be here. We have to be just basically like the robots. All your energy is going to be rationed and controlled, and all natural resources. And natural resources, that's like water, air. I don't know how they're going to control the air, but they may. Only essential air traffic. You're not going to fly wherever you want to go. That's not going to happen. Okay. And then there's such a thing called smart cities. Now, smart cities are these cute little things, and that ain't it. Oh, that ain't it. That's a robot. Let's try again there. There we go. There's a smart city. There are smart cities now. There's smart cities in Canada. There are also smart cities here in the United States. And what they are is, well, you can actually look at New York City as a smart city that's run by dumb people, but everything is contained right there. You never have to leave the city, okay? And in the smaller smart cities, they'll all be electric. Um, all your transportation will be, basically automated Uber. If you want to leave, you'll need a special permit, and you'll have to travel by special, um, probably rail or some special transportation to go to another smart city. Rural areas, out here in the boondocks, like where I live, they're going to be gone. All this land will be taken, okay? Because um, they just can't have us out here being independent. So we'll all be in smart cities where everybody can be surveilled at all times by facial recognition drones that are constantly flying, making sure you're being compliant, making sure you're where you're supposed to be. The other thing they're going to have to do, folks, is abolish all private property. That just doesn't mean the house you live in and the land that it's on. That's everything in the house, everything you own, your car, your clothes, your pots and pans, any weapons you may have, any musical instruments you may have, anything like that you have is going to be taken and controlled. Why? Because what someone has may cause somebody else to be envious or jealous. And when we have that type of feeling, we go, well, I want something like that. Well, you can't work for it anymore. You have to let the state supply it to you. So you have to follow the rules and be a good, compliant little citizen, and maybe you'll get something like that. But if somebody has a musical instrument and they show talent, that's showing themselves off above you, and that can't happen in this society, right? You can't have anything better than anything else. Everybody has to be and everything has to be equitable, not equal, folks, equitable. Everybody has to end up in the same place with the same thing at the same time, always. Okay? You don't have to worry about starting off equal. You will be given equity. So no matter what your IQ is, what your talents are, it won't matter because your work won't be needed if the robots can do it. Okay? So all of that's gone. And everything else, all the wildlife will be controlled, all nature, there'll be human-free zones. You're not going to be able to go to the park. You're not going to be able to do anything that, okay? That stuff is for free people. It's for freedom. So this is going to be a long-lasting new world order. And it's going to usher in some terrible times. Because, first of all, it never works. You can never reach that stage of total compliance because there'll always be pockets somewhere that need to be taken out of the equation. There will always be freedom somewhere. But you have to be aware, folks, this is happening. I want you to understand that we see the beginnings of this now in our country. Did you ever think you'd see a day where Americans would hate the Constitution, where Americans would want to see our government toppled, where Americans want to see our borders completely taken down and allow everyone and anyone in? Yet the same people lock their doors at night or block off streets to not let certain people through. America is in trouble, my friends. Part of this channel is to bring that to light. But the only way we can fight what's happening here is with God, through God's Word. That's the biggest part of this channel. Being part of this country, loving this country, but putting God first. He is the reason this country's here. He is the reason I'm here in this country. Don't get me wrong. I love this country dearly. Not a big fan of our government, but I love this country dearly and what it has to offer. And you need to love it too. And you need to speak up when you see things like what's going on in Minnesota, Minneapolis, Dearborn. This is not a country for Sharia law. Our Constitution doesn't allow it, and our people certainly don't need it. And on that note, since my camera shut off again, I think I might have figured out I could get 30 minutes out of it, but I don't think anybody wants to listen to me for that long. So anyway, folks, that's my take on Agenda 2030. You may just say I'm all wet, don't know what I'm talking about, but it's something that I see happening today, and I see it's something that's coming our way. Please comment below what you think. If you've got any solutions to my camera problem, please add that. Some of you watching aren't subscribed. I appreciate if you subscribed and share. Share to your Facebook if you would, because there's so many more of you than there is of me. And like I said, I don't have a lot of friends on Facebook. But I'm trying to get this channel going, not for any financial purposes, nothing other than the fact that I want to be able to reach people. Uh, I really think I've been given a mission to bring my search for God to people who are looking. So if you share this, especially with non-believers, as Christ said, I'm not here to heal the healthy, I'm here to heal the sick. I'm here to help those who don't know where to go. You can find anything on YouTube, and you can fix anything if you find the right video on YouTube. The more you share, the more you like, the more you comment, the more the algorithm, what I don't even know what an algorithm is, the more the algorithm will put this out there. I don't want to be controversial, but I don't mind if you disagree. I don't mind if you any comment you make. I'm going to put a little heart next to it anyway because I like getting comments. So, folks, thank you. Thank you so much for being a part of this, being part of what I'm trying to do. Thank you for bearing with me for this. I'm not going to get too many more political things. I do have a video coming of 31 ways to live like Charlie. And then I'll be right back into the God with truth. It's not subjective, and there's no such thing as my truth. So stay tuned, stay connected, and above all, pray every day, and God bless every one of you. I may not like what you do or say, but I do love you. That's what God has given me, and I give to you today. Thank you.